2022. How are you? I hope your day has been lovely. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. I welcome you to Adult Conversations tonight. Here we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here on Adult Conversations, you give all the advice by contributing on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio runs every Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m., because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story that you want us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, ensure to send your story. Ensure to send your story to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537 with your name and contact telephone number. Tonight on Adult Conversations. My name is Gladys, 28, and an account manager at a top advertising company. And I've been married for 2 years with a child. My husband is 34, a petroleum engineer and also a businessman. It's been 2 years of bliss married to this man. 2 weeks ago, a woman messaged me on social media from the US. After speaking with her, my life was. She said she had been married to my husband for 6 years and had a child for him. I confronted my husband, and apparently it's true. He's been begging me that he doesn't love her, that he married her when he thought he needed a green card to permanently stay abroad before he got the job with the oil company he currently works for. I'm contemplating divorce because I don't want to be a second wife. I need advice. So this is the story of Gladys tonight. Gladys is 28. She's an account manager at a top advertising company, and she's been married for 2 years with one child. Her husband is 34. He's a petroleum engineer. He's also a businessman. According to Gladys, it's been 2 years of bliss being married to this man. 2 weeks ago, a woman messaged her on social media. She'd been married to him for longer, that she'd been married to him for 6 years, and she had a child with this man. Of course, Gladys was wondering, okay, what's going on? So she confronted her husband, and apparently her husband didn't deny it, meaning that it's actually true. Her husband has now been begging her since they found out that he actually doesn't love this lady in question. He only married her when he thought that he was going to need a green card to permanently stay in the United States before he got the job with the oil company he currently works for. So to expatiate on that, 6 years ago, her husband traveled abroad, with the goals of, I want to get a good job and maybe a green card and permanently stay and all of that. I'm sure you know of marriages like that happen as a result of the need to stay abroad and the need to get a green card. There are lots of marriages like that abroad, and sometimes those marriages work. So they're abroad and they need to get a green card. There are lots of marriages like that abroad, and sometimes those marriages work, sometimes they don't. In this case, he married this lady, he had a child with her, but he didn't actually need the green card anymore because he got the job offer for the job he currently works, the petroleum engineering job that he does right now at the oil company that he currently works at. So he, of course, came back to Nigeria, took the job offer, and he still works for that company till date. And of course, in Nigeria is where he met Gladys, and their own story starts 2 years ago. Now, Gladys is saying, I am contemplating divorce because I don't want to be a second wife. I need advice. Now, I don't understand this particular story because, not that I don't understand the story, I'm a bit worried about the direction that this might go. But whatever the case is, remember that Adult Conversations is a safe space. So you can call in with your advice, but be advised not to judge and not to use insulting words on anyone. not to insult anyone's opinion, and not to judge. The number to call is 07000 917 917. What do you think that Gladys should do? I don't want to be a second wife, is what she's saying. And it's imperative that that be honored. But how will that be honored when she's already married to a man who has been married? He's been married for 6 years, and Gladys has been married for 2 years to the same man. It's not going to be an easy decision, and she's asking for your advice. 07000 917 917 is the number to call. Send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Anywhere you are in the world, you can listen via the website www.wfm917.com. www.wfm917.com. And you can also download the Women Radio app to listen live on there as well. WFM 917 on Google Play Store. Download it as well. Radio app to listen live on there as well. WFM 917 on Google Play Store. Download it as well on iOS. Also, you can join the live stream tonight. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at WFM 917. Now, when you call, turn down the volume of your radio, please. And if you want to join the Adult Conversations family group chat, send your name and WhatsApp number to 0703 175 6537 in a WhatsApp message. I'll take that again. If you want to join the Adult Conversations group chat, send a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537 with your name and WhatsApp number indicating interest in joining the group. Now, what do you think that Gladys should do tonight? This is quite a big story. Gladys is 28. Her husband is 34. So they're both pretty young. Her husband made this decision a long time ago when he was also 28. So he may not have been thinking straight. But whatever the case is, it doesn't change the fact that he has a wife abroad in the United States who is, he has a wife he married 6 years ago. And not only he have a wife, he has a child abroad as well. But what I want to know, what I would like to ask Gladys tonight is, what is the request of this wife? What is she saying specifically? Is she saying that she's not going to divorce him? What is she saying specifically? Like, is she asking for anything? Is she asking that, what is she asking? Just give us that information so that we can know how to advise you. But regardless of whether or not she gives us that information, please feel free to call. Now, 2 years into the marriage, and Gladys is saying it has been 2 years of bliss with this man, meaning the man is wonderful to her. The man is amazing to her. The man is like your dream man, or at least in this case, he's Gladys' dream man. And now this has come up. And you cannot chase away this particular this, because this is a big this. It's a big this because there's a child involved. There's not just one woman who is saying, oh, that's my man. No, this woman is married to this man. She's married to him, and she has the papers to prove it. And then she also has his child. If you could tell us how old this child is, I would appreciate that as well. How old is this child in question? This child that we're talking about, the one from the 6-year marriage. Gladys, how old is the child? And is she asking anything concerning your husband in this case? After telling you that he's the father of her child. What do you advise Gladys to do? Because, I'm not ever going to lie. This kind of story tonight, it gets us a B, because if you look out from surface now, it will be like the solution will do. But I sure see, as soon as I started the talk, Gladys is going to figure out what she's supposed to do. At least you're going to get some idea here and there. So 07000 917 917 is the number to call. So go ahead and give Gladys some good advice, because trust me, Gladys needs it. All right, I'm going to start with the messages of the Adult Conversations family group chat. And this one is coming from Chinwe from Ejigbo. Chinwe is saying, good evening, lady. Your mind is to divorce him, so go ahead. You didn't tell us where you and your husband are now. I guess the woman that called you is still abroad. I don't understand that particular advice. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Sumter. It's still Sumter. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you for calling. How are you today? I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you for calling. All right. So, Nelson, typically I would say you should call back when you hear the story, but let me give you the summary, okay? All right. So that um what's her name again? Gladys. Okay, so Gladys is 28. She's an account manager at an advertising account manager, and they have one child. Now, her marriage is blissful, 2 years of marriage, and she has been loving every single moment of it. Now, 2 weeks ago, a woman messaged Gladys on social media from the United States, telling Gladys that she has something to tell her. She has some news to tell her. Now, Gladys, of course, engaged this woman, and what she's basically hearing is that this woman is actually her husband's wife and that she has a child with this man. Gladys confronted her husband, and it's true. She actually has a child for him, but he married her when he thought that. Oh, this is why I don't like giving summaries. Anyway, I'll summarize it again. He married her when he thought that he was going to need a green card. When he was abroad and he thought he was going to need a green card, that's why he married her. So you could tell that it's a marriage. It would have been a marriage of agreement, or it was a marriage of agreement because he actually did get married to her. Except he didn't now end up needing that green card, and for some reason he didn't dissolve that marriage. He didn't dissolve that marriage. And as if that's not enough, there's a child out of that marriage as we speak. There's a child from that marriage. So, Gladys, again, if you can call us or send us a message, let us know how old this child is. And let's know if the woman in question is asking for anything of your husband. 07000 917 is the number to call tonight. What is your advice to Gladys? All right. Precious from Ogun State is saying, please, my dear, divorce is not an option. He married her for a purpose. So please accept his beginning and continue your marriage. And continue. Okay, please accept the beginning and continue. Your marriage is for better, for worse. Okay, so what is she supposed to do about the child? What she's supposed to do about the woman? There's not really a solution here. And Gladys is hoping for a solution. So if you have a solution, please call in. 07000 917 is the number to call. And she's in need. He's a good husband to you. No need of divorcing him. That's coming from Gideon from Kitty. So what should she do? If she shouldn't divorce him, then what should she do? Now, the solution here, it would be eventually left in the hands of Gladys to decide. We all know that. We all know that. But Gladys is asking for advice. She's saying, I'm contemplating divorce because I don't want to be a second wife. So if you're saying don't divorce him, you have to be given another alternative advice. You can't just say don't divorce him. Don't divorce him, but what? But do what? So what do you think? What do you think Gladys should do? 07000 917 is the number to call, and send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. It's 22 minutes per 175 6537. This is Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and we discuss matters relating to the heart. Gladys, I'm still waiting on that message if you're tuned in. So let us know, how old is this child and what is the woman asking? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Hello? All right, kindly call back if you can. Now, what do you think that Gladys should do? What do you think she should do? Do you support the idea of divorce? Or do you think that she should not divorce him and do something else? Now, what is that something else? Because believe me, Gladys wants to know what it is. She wants to know what to do. She's stuck at that point where the man who had shown her all this love in the world, the man who is her crown, the man who's the father of her child, to her has this past that involves another marriage and another child. So it might seem small to some people, but this is not a small situation at all. This is not a small situation. So the solution is whatever Gladys says it is, but to arrive at that solution, Gladys is asking for your advice. What do you think that she should do? 07000 917 is the number to call. Feel free to call in. We're also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can go on there, watch the program as it progresses, and of course, you can leave comments and I'll read them. 07000 917 is the number to call. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, Patience. What do you think that Gladys should do?
I think the solution lies in the husband. We have to help and do it. So the mistake he made is that he would have opened up to Gladys from the outset.
That's true.
Or secondly, he would have engaged and terminate that contract marriage. Or possibly he would not make arrangements for welfare, social welfare,
for the child.
Yes, these are things that are very crucial to be solving. I think Gladys has a good marriage, a proper marriage born out of love. There should be transparency. So the guy has to dialogue with Gladys. It's the man that has a problem here, not Gladys.
Absolutely.
Gladys does is like she can't see.
So you're saying she found herself in this situation, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hear you.
If she appreciates the marriage, she's not so young. And she's based in Nigeria. She's also now in Nigeria.
Yes.
Then the guy, if he's honest, he should please disengage from the other relationship. This is actually contract relationship. You shouldn't have problems get your lawyer to discuss it.
All right.
It's not that you have to pay some compensation for that time spent with the other lady.
And for the child, right? Because there's a child involved too.
Yeah, besides they can always work out modality for him to always pay in something monthly or let
All right. I appreciate your comments, Patience. Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. So Patience is a diplomat, and she says she sees a lot of these contract marriages in her life. She's a diplomat, and she says she sees a lot of these contract marriages in her line of work. And then because of these contract marriages, things like this happen. So in this case, I'm not sure if this was a contract marriage or if he actually loved the person and got married. But whatever the case is, marriage is still a contract at the end of the day. So I don't know if the woman was also in love and if she'll be willing to agree to a dissolution, because they do have to agree to terminate that marriage contract. Patience is saying if he can terminate that contract of marriage and then pay some money to a lawyer for compensation for the woman, of course, the 6 years spent, and agree to a certain amount for child support for this baby in question, for the child now, the one he had with the initial wife, then they can come to some kind of agreement. And she's also saying the biggest mistake here is the fact that Gladys's husband did not tell her about this before they got married. To which I agree to every single word that Patience said. So yes, thank you, Patience. Thank you for calling. All right, what do you think about this? Now, to a large extent, it still falls in the hands of this is saying she doesn't want to be the second wife. So she's contemplating divorce. She knows that this marriage is good for her because she appreciates the marriage. She loves the man. He treats her like a queen. They have a child together. So now she's wondering, what do I do? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
And it helps to lead the marriage because from now, from what we've seen, come myself to the initial first night at the baby. And I don't know where the wife and the baby are right now. If they're in Nigeria or they're still outside country.
Are you talking about the initial wife, the first one?
Yes, yes.
They're still outside the country. Yes.
They're still outside the country.
Yes, they're still in the United States.
And Gladys is still in Nigeria.
Yes, with the man.
With the man.
I don't understand. What's with this laughter now? You get everything you want to talk, but you never see talk. That was obviously something that needed to be said that he was trying not to say. Just say your mind. Say your mind. Let's hear what you think, because you never know what could be helpful to Gladys at the end of the day. All right. So you never really know. So Gladys is wondering, what should I do? I am actively contemplating divorce because I don't want to be a second wife. But I mean, right now, believe it or not, she's a second wife, but she doesn't want to stay a second wife. So she's thinking of divorcing this man that she really loves and this man that she has a child with, a 2-year-old. Let me see, for 2 years, that simply means that the child is less than 2 years, maybe a year and some months or 1 year. I don't know, but they have one child. So the one with the child abroad is an older woman. And by older, I'm not even talking about in age, because her age is inconsequential right now. Well, actually, it's not inconsequential, because if she's old, if she's older, maybe she's about older than 30, or she's getting close to 40, or she's older than that, because sometimes contract marriages, now who you jam, now you go marry sometimes. So sometimes 28-year-olds end up marrying women that are 40, women that are 50. You never really know. But it doesn't really sound like this woman is old. So Gladys, a third question for you. How old is the woman's child? Is she asking anything of your husband? How old is she, if you know? Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please tell me your name and where you're calling. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, this is Goodness from Norway.
Mrs. Goodness, it's been a while. Oh. Thank you for calling this evening.
Hi, everything, ma'am.
Everything is fine. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay. Yeah. So before I continue,
Yes.
the woman that the husband married in the United States, is she aware that he might have another wife in Nigeria?
Yes. As a matter of fact, she's the one that found this new wife. She's the one that found Gladys on social media and messaged her.
Okay. So according to Gladys, right?
Yes, Gladys.
Okay. According to her, she said that the husband loves her.
Yes.
And that he loves as well.
Yes.
She shouldn't think of divorce, because this is something that can happen to anyone. And I think maybe the husband is a traveler or something like that. Maybe he has this wife. You know how women react. Maybe he's looking for a day that he will just tell the wife about it. So
okay.
The man loves Gladys. I don't think his wife or her signing for divorce.
Okay.
Let them discuss it, talk about what they will do concerning the child, how they will train the child. That's the most important thing. Not signing for divorce. I don't think it's really important for now.
All right. So what about the woman? If you're focusing on the child, what about the woman?
You mean the first one?
Yes, the woman abroad.
The woman abroad is a contract marriage now, according to the story.
It's okay. The story doesn't state that it's a contract marriage. The story said that he married her when he thought that he was going to need a green card. So typically it's a contract marriage, but it doesn't say that, oh, you'll be married. A contract marriage is basically, we'll be married for 2 years or 5 years. After 5 years, the divorce, go our separate ways. I get you your green card in the space of that 5 years. After 5 years, we move. We'll be married for 2 years or 5 years. After 5 years, the divorce, go our separate ways. I get you your green card in the space of that 5 years. After 5 years, we move. Then before the 5 years runs out, if they now fall in love and decide to stay, then they do not dissolve the contract anymore. And they are now officially married. So this doesn't say anything like that. We will need more information. I don't know if Gladys has that information, but I'll have to ask. But if it's not a contract, I don't know yet. I was just saying because sometimes in contract marriages, I don't know that for sure. I only said that because in contract marriages, sometimes the women are older.
What the main thing as well, the husband is not based in the United States with the woman as well. He stays in Nigeria as well, right?
Yes, he does.
Yes, she doesn't have anything to bother. Because I've seen so many such cases, consult cases like that. So she should look at to settle with him. I think she loves the man already.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Goodness. Thank you for calling. All right. So this is an interesting one. And Mrs. Goodness is saying, look for a way to settle with him because you know that you're the one that he loves. You're the one that he loves. You're the one he wants to do life with. So find a way to now. Mrs. Goodness is saying maybe they need to dissolve the contract. I will need to know specifically if it's a contract marriage. If it's not a contract marriage, then what can be done? What can be done? So, what do you think? What can be done? What can be done? So, what do you think? Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7 is what you tuned into, and this is the story of Gladys. I'm still taking comments. Go ahead and call in or send text or WhatsApp messages. 07000 917 917 is the number to call. You can also send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
Have you been a victim of corruption? Have you been a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? My children are surprises. Adane buys my favorite 3 crowns milk regularly. And as for Chinedu, that one makes it rain with monthly upkeep. They really plan to take me to Dubai someday soon, so I can see Burj Khalifa and other fine places.
Bring your mom a trip to Dubai. Buy 3 crowns milk products worth 2,000 naira. Write a note to say thank you to your mom. Post it on www.3crowns.com.ng and she could be one of the lucky winners to Dubai. Terms and conditions apply. 3 crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Hi sis, hope you didn't forget the 2K you promised me.
I haven't forgotten. In fact, if you want it now, join me in unwrapping this milk cube. It's giving up.
Ping the no cubes. When you make it 5K, buy the Love 360 gram or 160 gram promo pack. Look for a cube wrapper with an hidden 6-digit code. Text code to 8011 and follow the prompts to win 5,000 Naira cash or 1,000 Naira airtime instantly. Promo runs from now till November. Terms and conditions apply. More Eat for Good.
My people are hello. Now better than carrying none of the Martin Goza. Long festival of God promo. From you. They don't let break the president yet. And nobody back away. 20 coming now. 21st of the UK. 100 generator. 200 sewing machine. 1,000 returnable fan. And 1,000 upon 1,000 other price and days. Just now start this one hash to enter and win inside the Club Festival of the Pro. Buy up to 20,000 naira better. Your lucky shine to win brand new house. If you cost to recharge or loan it away cost from primary house. If you cost to recharge or loan it away cost from primary naira, go with 10,000 naira every month, week, or every day. New or Taraka, plus other fabulous price that feel like your hand. Make your dial star 611 hash now to enter and win. Terms and conditions.
Unlimited.
2023 general election don't come more. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our votes. Look, we join hands together and vote for better candidates. Candidates wey no dey use women play. Candidates wey carry woman matter for head. Women o, make una get una permanent voters card, PVC. Look, we vote better.
My Voice for Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio 91.7 bring una this message.
for Women Radio 91.7. We value una. We will always find way wey we take near una. Make we bring Women Radio membership come out. We will connect you with other women wey dey in 36 states for Nigeria. Market woman, person wey get your own hustle, person wey dey go school, person wey don work retire, person wey dey work retire, person wey dey look pikin dem for house. Abi you be farmer? We no say make you bring money o. Just go register for WFM917.com. You fit still join Women Radio membership group for Facebook. Oya, hear me, make I tell you wetin you like. As person wey follow this group, na im you member, e go help you sell your market for Women Radio. And every month you gotta chop better prices dem. Download our mobile app, make you dey hear us anywhere where you dey. Women Radio membership dey connect you to other women dem. The big question.
Corruption is, in fact, is increasing more. We never had a snake and whether Saturn and swallow movie.
Why? Everything has increased. Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays to Fridays, 12:05 p.m.
On your Women Radio, WFM 91.7.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives.
Government has also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because
Mondays to Fridays from 9 to 5 a.m.
And WFM 91.7 will bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
Technology and fun. Get ready for Fun Tech, a great combination at She Talks Tech. Tuesdays, 2 p.m. on Women Radio, where we share tech gist, tips, and experiences on the biases women face in tech and learn about tech from women who do amazing work in the tech space. She Talks Tech, Tuesdays, 2 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7. Let's help you learn on Women Radio 91.7. Let's help you love tech as much as we do.
You're listening to the voice of women. It's not just talk, but it will take you and play everything and play them better.
18 minutes to 7 on 7 on Women Radio 91.7, and this is still Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Now, you would agree with me that tonight's story is one very unique one. My name is Sunto Titilayo Ajama, and tonight's story is that of Gladys. I'm going to read the story as she sent it in, and of course, include any other additional information. My name is Gladys, 28, and an account manager at a top advertising company, and I've been married for 2 years with a child. My husband is 34, a petroleum engineer, and also a businessman. It's been 2 years of bliss, married to this man. 2 weeks ago, a woman messaged me on social media from the United States, and after speaking with her, my life was not the same. She said she had been married to my husband for 6 years and had a child for him. I confronted my husband, and apparently it's true. The job with the oil company that he currently works for. Gladys says, I am contemplating divorce right now because I don't want to be the second wife. I need your advice. Gladys is contemplating divorce right now, and just imagine contemplating divorce from the man you say that it's been 2 years of bliss with. It's a hard decision to make. And honestly, Gladys shouldn't be in the position to make this kind of choice. But alas, she is. She is in this position, no thanks to something that her husband did 6 years ago. But she needs to make a decision and she needs advice from you. So kindly give us some good advice tonight. The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in a message or a WhatsApp message to 6537. 073 175 6537. Call in to 07000 917 917. What would you do if you were in Gladys' shoes? She needs your advice tonight. So kindly come through with your advice. What are your thoughts concerning this one? Now, again, this was a decision her husband made when he was 28, and that's 6 years ago. And he thought he needed the green card. He got abroad, and you know how always things are usually like that at the beginning, particularly for people of African descent or people from Nigeria or from Africa. You know, they go abroad, they get married to some white woman or from somebody abroad because they needed to speed up getting the green card, which he didn't actually need at the end of the day. So what do you think? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. My name is Jennifer. I'm calling from
Jennifer from Ikoton, thank you so much for calling. How are you?
I see something, there's no big deal there. So I know that time is a big deal. Now, these men that always travel abroad, you know, get to be and say this man married that lady even before he met Gladys.
Yes.
You understand? I don't think it should be an issue. And as far as this woman is outside the country, I don't know why the woman went ahead to get Gladys' number, or rather, contact on social media. But I don't think it should be an issue. Gladys to concentrate on our marriage now on social media. But I don't think it should be an issue. Gladys to concentrate on our marriage. And let what happened in the past be in the past. You understand? You don't have anything with this with her husband. And you wouldn't let another woman become, rest her home. That was advice that forget about that white woman or whosoever. Because I don't think the man really is into that woman.
But Jennifer, whether or not he's into that woman, that doesn't really matter. What matters at the moment is there's already a marriage that the United States recognizes. The United States recognizes that marriage. That marriage is legal, and that marriage is further binding because there's a child involved. So, exactly. So what should she do about all of that? I understand that. But what's now the solution? What's the solution?
She'll still be a divorcee. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's just like, I don't really know. But to me, I don't think divorce is an option here.
No.
So it's just like, I don't really know. But to me, I don't think divorce is an option here.
All right.
Let them talk things out. I don't think, let her know her other stance concerning this whole thing.
All right.
Yeah, I think that is the best thing for her to do.
All right. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for calling. All right. So she got to the point where I needed, because it's not just about saying divorce is not an option. I understand that, and I can resonate with that. But if you say don't divorce, then you have to come up with another solution, because we're trying to bring up solutions here. That's the kind of advice, solution-minded advice is the kind of advice that Gladys needs right now. So Jennifer is saying, talk it over with your husband and let your husband tell you his stance on this, and then you can know where to go from there. Put on me, kindly call back if you can. 07000 917 917 is that number to call. Send in a text or a WhatsApp message, 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. What is your advice to Gladys? Now, she's thinking about this and she's saying, contemplating divorce because I don't want to be a second wife. And unfortunately, I found myself in this situation and I cannot decide what to do. She loves this man, obviously, and she wants to be with this man. So is divorce the right thing to do, or what would you advise? John, physiotherapist from Agege, is saying, good evening all. Please, Mrs. Gladys, divorce isn't the best option. Very sorry for this kind of disappointment. Thank God you're already having a child for him. She already had the child. Divorcing him is like you're creating an opportunity for the other woman abroad to enter fully. Once he's taking good care of you and your child, please move on. The other woman may or may not come back, although you're in a good position to decide because you have been with him for 2 years ago now. May God help you. And that's coming from John, physiotherapist from Agege. Decide because you have been with him for 2 years ago now. May God help you. And that's coming from John, physiotherapist from Agege. Another important question I'd like to ask Gladys is if she knows how long her husband has been in Nigeria for. So if her husband has been in Nigeria for maybe about 4 years, then that means that he left the United States 4 years ago when that marriage was 2 years old and never returned. So we need to know the full information, or at least the information that's relevant to this conversation. And if he has been in Nigeria for the past 4 years, is it that he has not been in contact with this woman at all, or what exactly? Does he have a relationship with her? Does he have a relationship with the child? What exactly is the status of things? All right, Olu from Obawale is saying, good evening, house. Please, this matter is a bit complex. Gladys should seek legal advice to determine the legality of her marriage. As it is, his marriage to Gladys, his marriage to Gladys could be nullified as the husband has committed what is called bigamy. Gladys and the husband should seek legal advice and not leave themselves at the mercy of the first wife. Okay, please call back if you can. That particular message from Olu from Obawale is where I've been going. So married 2 wives, you're committing a crime, and it's called bigamy. Here in Africa, you can marry more than 4 wives if you want. You can marry more than 4 wives if you want, as long as you can provide for them. Religion states that culturally, there's nowhere that says you can do that. But technically, I mean, culture allows it as well, since religion backs it up. But in the United States, you cannot do that. If you marry 2 wives, it's called bigamy. So you can only marry 1 wife at a time. So Olu is saying, instead of leaving yourself at the mercy of the first wife, because she can sue and press charges, she can actually do that because this is a crime. As I've said before, this is actually a crime. If she sues this man and she presses charges, it will be an entire situation. And because he was already married, this marriage to Gladys may be nullified, depending on the judgment of the judge. May be nullified. And if this marriage is nullified, this is actually not legally married to this man at all. So this is actually a bit more complex than we're really thinking about it. And this is why I believe that Gladys is asking for advice. And if she doesn't know this, well, I think she does, because this is an important part of the entire picture. So thank you very much, Olu. Thank you for putting that out there. You put it in the exact words that I've been struggling with since we began. So what do you think? Knowing this particular information now, what do you think? Now, let's not forget there's a child involved as well. So whether or not she sues Gladys' husband for bigamy, there's been backlog of child support that hasn't been paid over the past 6 years. If he really left 6 years ago, or at least over the amount of years that he has not been paying, if he's not been paying. And this is why I'm asking, what's the relationship? What's the status of things? Has he been in contact with the woman? Was he still sustaining some kind of relationship while he was dating Gladys? And of course, ended up marrying her. So that much I need to know. Okay, there's a message coming. This one is from Gladys, actually. Gladys is saying that the woman messaged her on social media is saying that the woman still lives in the US with her son, and her son is 4 years old. Her son is 4 years old. So this, if her son is 4 years old, then that means that 4 years ago, at least at the beginning of 4 years ago, Gladys' husband was still with this woman. So meaning he may have spent 4 years in Nigeria, but at least at the beginning of that 4 years, he impregnated this woman. And of course, that's why the baby is 4 years old now, or that's why the child is 4 years old. So the child is 4 years old, and I'm trying to read this right. It's a bit scrambled. I'm trying to read this right. She's saying the baby is 4 years old, and she doesn't know if the man has been act with the woman. What she knows is that the baby is 4 years old, and the woman is just basically telling her that she's married to this man. Where I was going, I asked this question initially, and thank God that Gladys has answered. So what I asked initially, in case you're just tuning in, is that how old is the child? Is the woman asking anything? Because when a woman messages you and says, you're married to my husband, then there's something she wants. It's not just for information purposes. It's not just so you know. It's not that kind of information. There's something she wants. And according to this message, Gladys is basically saying the woman is asking for his responsibility as a father to be fulfilled on the child. Now, where I'm confused is as to whether she's talking about financial responsibility or she's talking about, being there as a father. So again, Gladys, if you can really explain, we would be grateful. We will be grateful. So, and if you have the information of how old this woman is, then let's understand. Because the reason her age is important, woman is, then let's understand. Because the reason her age is important is because if she has been waiting for Gladys' husband to come back to her, that if they've been in contact for a while, since all the time with Gladys, if they've been talking and he has been sustaining a kind of relationship that seems like, oh, he's in Nigeria, he's hustling, but he'll be back, then that means that she has been waiting. And if she has been waiting, that means she has not gotten married to somebody else. And if she has not gotten married to somebody else and she's older, maybe she's about 36 or she's about 40, then even though they get married at any age there, society doesn't really care. But at least that's important to know. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, this is but I have to call in when you brought in that additional information.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not getting clear here for sake of Gladys. One, like the other writer said, there is a case of bigamy. If she's truly legally married to the other lady, whether contract or not. So there's a child involved and it's even a male child. And now our men are attached with the male child. So the issue about the woman's age is not even a question now. The issues are, he is still legally married to the first lady.
Yes.
With an evidence proof of a child of which is a minor.
Yes.
4 years. It means that the child still is psychological support,
exactly,
moral support, and financial support.
That's true.
What will he do? It's not up to him to make up his mind. It's a next case already. The first thing he would have done before marrying Gladys was to inform her of his relationship. Then secondly was to file for divorce.
Exactly.
Then after the divorce has been executed, with an evidential divorce certificate, he can now go ahead to marry Gladys.
Exactly.
So now it is not only the due process with Gladys.
Exactly.
So now it is not only the due process. The tendency is that women might take advantage of bigamy, charge him higher compensation. Because as it is now, he has made it clear he wants to spend the rest of his life with Gladys.
Yes.
He loves Gladys.
Yes.
Woman was his wife of circumstances. But you know the truth is that whether wife of circumstances
or not, exactly.
Like Rachel and Leah, two sisters, they still have responsibility.
Absolutely.
And the husband also have responsibility towards them. So two of them, their children are minor.
Yes.
So we can't advise this other woman to walk out to that side like that. So So let her remain in the marriage. Since he has professed his love towards her, he's willing to stay with her. My prayer is that you will not repeat the same thing and snowball to someone else and tell them the same story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Patience. So now you see the way the story is progressing. You would agree now that this story is actually more complicated. What do you think? Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at WFM 917. So you can go there, watch it, share the link, and let other people contribute as well. 07000 917 917 is the number to call. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
I've done that. I actually called back and I've been taking a careful listening to the program and for other people's submission. I want to come from the biblical part.
Okay.
Okay, now, in the first place, Gladys' husband has committed a great sin. And the thing is that before the marriage that he did with Gladys, he went to the church and he had professed that there is nothing as holding him as an impediment against this marriage was supposed to.
Yes, basically.
Whereas in his house, he has light. He kept such a great secret without telling Gladys that this is the situation of that I have a wife over there and the baby. In my own faith, in the Catholic Church, that I have a wife over there and the baby. In my own faith, in the Catholic Church, it is assumed that marriage did not hold in the first place.
Because there was a previous one, right? For keeping the secret.
Yes, it is assumed that marriage did not hold in the first place.
Because there was a previous one, right? For keeping the secret.
Yes, because he has already married and he not disclosed it was a fault because there were some impediments because it is the wife outside the country cannot be alive up in that marriage and he has a baby. Now, Gladys on her part would not also consider where our salvation will go to. Would she keep indulging in sin just because she's enjoying her wedding? In fact, not the wedding, this or marriage, not marriage this time around. That is forcefully husband. He's actually giving her the kind of love and happiness that she wants from a marital home. No, she should not go that selfish. She should look at what does the scripture say and what does the Bible teaches. Where is our faith? What has their pastor or their reverend father said? Has he gone to meet their priest to explain and table this matter to such a clergyman? To hear from the clergy's perspective and let her be clear that truly, even when this marriage has been consented, in the first place, it is not hold. It was an illegal marriage.
So if I'm getting it correctly, your advice basically is that she should, number one, analyze her own spirit. All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for calling. Okay. So this is another perspective. This is another perspective on this matter, the spiritual perspective. And according to Daniel, he's saying in faith, which is he's a Christian and he's of the Catholic denomination. So he's saying that because he kept this secret, not only did he keep this secret, or not only did he keep a secret, he kept a secret about a marriage that had already happened, meaning he has already been binded in love with somebody else, basically binded in love and by law with another person, and he kept that away from the person he married again. So technically, according to him, this marriage does not even count because of the previous one. Now he's saying because your marriage has been this far doesn't mean that you should selfishly indulge in sin. He calls it sin because he says the marriage doesn't count. The marriage doesn't count because, of course, this kept this secret and he's already married. So if he's already married and he married you, then Daniel is saying this marriage doesn't matter. So he's saying, would you rather stay in sin because it feels good? And remember that you have a child as well. So this is the spiritual context to Daniel's submission. But I want to hear from you. What do you think that should be done at this point? That now, one thing I believe that we all have said over the course of the conversation so far is that they need to have that conversation. Now, the conversation is not just revolving around, sorry, I don't love her, you're the one I love. That's not the totality of the conversation. That part is the initial part. The other part is the logical part of things. Okay, you don't love her, you love me. You don't want me to go, you want me to stay. You don't want to go be with her, you want to be with me. But what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Are you going to go back and share a life with this woman? Now that we have some money, you're rich, you're a petroleum engineer, you're also a businessman. So that means, maybe you can afford to travel maybe twice every year to go visit them. Is that an arrangement that you're open to? Now, I'm the one bringing these suggestions now. The point here is, are they open to modalities that can work for this man? So if he goes there if he goes there twice a year, maybe he spends 1 month each. At least he can get 2 months in a year with his child. He can be a father to that child, constant relationship over the phone as well. Does he want to be a father to that child? Or does he want to settle for, does he want to offer financial compensation? Does he want to end that marriage? And is the woman on board with ending that marriage? Because if the woman wants to be really petty, she's going to drag that divorce for a really long time. And if she drags it, technically, according to United States law, this man divorce for a really long time. And if she drags it, technically, according to United States law, this man is not married to Gladys. So that's going to be a difficult one. Hello, good evening. Hello, Grandma. Good evening. How are you today? I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you? All right. Were you out today this afternoon? The sun was something else. No, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, sorry about that, Grandma. But you know, in Nigeria is still there now, so hopefully it will get better. Thank you, Grandma. Now on self day. All right, what do you think, Grandma? Thank you.
It's getting complicated somehow. The man, they should go for legal advice first. The judges should go for legal advice. And the husband.
Okay.
Because if the man, as I suggested, that maybe the man will be going to America, wants to try to take that family. But I mean that's why I said now you go and be a black America.
She's white.
Oh, I've been a
She's a rainbow. She's a rainbow, yes. Yes.
So you pick advice to legal advice because if now one will get the right woman, if he gets here and you want to report to go ahead to report him to authority that he's not married to somebody else in Nigeria. They may charge you for bigamy or something.
Yes.
And that's why you may not be able to come back home. So with the producer in Nigeria now, you should take us on why you travel to that place.
That's another one, Grandma. That's another one. So what's your advice? What do you think Gladys should do now? How?
Both of them.
Yes.
This is like this. It's like this telling you the whole story, Papa. So the man wants her here for both of them to be married and be together. If that is the case, they should seek legal advice. Now, fast. Since that one has known that you don't get married to another woman here. So that there won't be palama. You should not come around. If you not say you don't get married to buy tickets, you should pay.
Okay.
Wait, get the legal advice. Well, get good lawyer that you advise them. And we are waiting for our grandpa, the guy right out the forum. To call him grandpa, daddy. Let's just call him. Grandpa, the guy right out.
All right. Thank you so much, Grandma.
Thank you. God bless you.
Amen. All right. So Grandma is saying, don't even think about traveling anywhere yet. And she's saying this, of course, based on what I said about the fact that maybe they want to come up with an arrangement where he can travel, be a father to the child and all of that. But if the woman is being petty and he travels and she charges him for bigamy and they arrest him and he never comes back, or at least he doesn't come back anytime soon, that will be a challenge. Grandma is saying, seek legal advice, you and your husband, and figure things out. Hello? Okay, please call me back if you can. Seek legal advice is what Grandma is saying. What do you think about this one? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name, please? Oh, hello, William. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I'm hearing you that the man is best.
Could you say that again?
The man is well to do. He has money.
He has money, yes.
Okay. And he's an African.
Yes, he's a Nigerian. Yes.
Okay. So far as the man has money, you have every right to marry. You have every right to marry. Whoever wants to marry him, if the man gets to a woman over there, they come down to Nigeria here and marry. To avoid problem, they can let the Nigerian woman to them where they come from.
So
anytime can travel to look at you and make you go wife. You remember one thing? You remember the Don Ejebe, the former petroleum minister, the presidential candidate during the grade 1 remember?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I used his husband to bring the woman to Nigeria.
No, I just asked you. And you remember, in place of our marriage to a foreigner, then before, when they come down, the woman noticed that they married somebody else. The woman called for that woman. Then that woman, if you want to marry the man has the right, he has the money to marry both of them. He can go abroad, come back to his African woman here, and marry both of them.
Okay. Okay, so this is where you're very wrong, William.
Yeah.
You're very wrong here. I'll explain. I'll explain. I'll explain. Just be patient and listen. I'll explain. In Africa, I'm gonna just talk about Nigeria because we're in Nigeria. In Nigeria here, your religion, a particular religion, permits you to marry more than one wife, provided you can provide for them. And religion permits you to marry more than one wife, provided you can provide for them. And Nigeria, that doesn't exist in the United States. In the United States, you cannot marry more than one wife. And that's their law. So in Nigeria, if you marry 4 wives and you're of that religion, and that's up to you. You can decide to do whatever it is you want to do. That's your business because your religion allows it. So that's fine. But you cannot marry a Nigerian wife as a Nigerian man. You cannot marry a Nigerian wife and then go abroad and marry an Oyibo woman and then come back again and marry a Nigerian wife. The only wives that will count according to Nigerian law are the wives that you have married in Nigeria. Your wife abroad will not count because to her, abroad, you're only married to one woman because she's the one you're married to. You're not married to 3 wives. You're not married to 3 wives. Their law does not allow it. It's a crime. You can only marry one woman at a time.
Okay, I did see that. I'm sorry about that.
So that's why we're asking what to do. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, William. So I understand where he was coming from initially, because of course we're in Africa, things like this happen every single day. Every day, things like this happen. But abroad, in United States specifically, it's not a thing at all. It's not a thing, it's a crime, and that's the way it is. That's their law. It's just what it is. You can't question that at this point. So there's so much that's going into this, because if they want to, if Gladys's husband decides that he wants to terminate that contract, if it's a contract, if it's not, if he decides he wants to file for divorce, divorce cannot happen with one person wanting to file. I mean, wanting the divorce. The divorce can only happen if both parties agree to the divorce. So if they have a conversation with the said woman abroad, the woman of 6 years, if they have a conversation with her and they settle it, and she's not asking anything of the man, she's only asking the man, she's only asking for backlog of child support and future child support as well, then they can come to that agreement. But if she's asking anything other than financial responsibility, if she's asking that you left me for how many years to come and marry somebody else, who is going to be a father to my child? Who is going to be a father does not have anything to do with money, or at least money is just one of those things. If she's asking who is going to be a father to my child, then that means she wants somebody to be a father to her child. She wants somebody to be there as a father figure in this boy's life. And that is completely different. So that is something else that they're going to have to start to talk about. 14 minutes past 7 on Adult Conversations this evening. What do you think about the story? Hello, good evening. Kindly turn down the volume of your radio. Good evening. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from. Your name again? Could you tell me your name again before you? Oyebola, okay. All right, please go ahead. At a time. Yes.
The Catholic religion is universal, and the Muslims believe according to their law. So I wouldn't know. I'm not going to say the position that I have some see. So, what allows the marrying more than one wife is to come fulfill the conditions laid down by the Sharia.
Islamic religion, I know where you're going. I know where you're going, because you already said Islamic religion is universal. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what you're trying to say is, if this man is a Muslim and your Islamic religion is universal, that means even in the United States it should still work, right?
Exactly.
Okay, but so that's the thing. This man is not a Muslim to start with.
Okay.
So to even begin with, before I even go on, this man is not a Muslim. But even if he were, okay. Yes, so let me address that. Even if he were a Muslim, the United States is not a Sharia country. So Islamic religion, yes, but because we have Sharia states in Nigeria, so that can work. The United States does not have Sharia states. They do not believe in Islam. As a matter of fact, they do not believe particularly in anything. Their constitution is the most important thing to them. So it doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, it doesn't matter to them. What matters is law.
The law, they allow you to live according to your law.
No, they don't allow you to live according to your law. They allow you to live according to their law. So if no, that's not the way it works. Religion is not supreme there. The law is supreme. Religion bows to law there. So that's just what it is. All right. All right. Please do that. Thank you so much. All right, so we're still talking about this, and Gladys is still seeking your advice. What do you think that she should do concerning this? I'm going to go on Facebook in a moment and take messages. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. I'm not on the line from Jackson.
Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
I'm not joining your program. Can you just give a brief of what I can give you the best advice?
Okay, Oluwafemi, would it be okay if I give the brief and then you call back with your advice?
Okay, yeah, I'll call back.
All right, so I'll give the summary now. All right, 19 minutes past 7 on Women Radio 91.7. And tonight we're still profiling the story of Gladys. This is how do I put this now? This is causing a little bit of brouhaha, like I like to say sometimes. And I'm open to it. I'll just like to know what your comments are and where it is that you're coming from with your advice. Now, the story of Gladys goes thus. I'm going to read it the way she sent it, then I'll include any other additional information going forward. My name is Gladys, 28, an accounts manager at a top advertising company, and I have been married for 2 years with a child. My husband is 34, he's a petroleum engineer and also a businessman. It's been 2 years of bliss being married to this man. 2 weeks ago, a woman messaged me on social media from the United States. After speaking with her, my life was no longer the same. She said she had been married to my husband for 6 years and she had a child for him. I confronted my husband, and apparently, this is actually true. He's been begging me that he doesn't love her, that he married her when he thought he needed a green card to permanently stay abroad before he got the job with the oil company he currently works for. I am contemplating divorce because I don't want to be a second wife. I need advice. So this is the original story sent in by Gladys. And additional information reaching us by Gladys as well says that the child in question is 4 years old. And the woman didn't know. I'm going to read that. The child in question is 4 years old. And what's the message now? The child in question is 4 years old. Let's start with that. That's the part I can remember. I'm trying to find the message. When I find it, I will read the remaining thing. Okay. So the child is 4 years old, and they were married 6 years ago, apparently. So that's basically it. She didn't say how old the man is. She didn't say whether it was a contract marriage. The message doesn't say any much information about the marriage itself. This marriage 6 years ago. And she's just finding out about this. And Gladys is asking what to do. Now, just for perspective, this woman is Caucasian. She's white. So the issue of whether or not they committed bigamy is not much of a conversation, because he did commit bigamy because he married this woman abroad. Whether or not it was contract, we're yet to know, because he hasn't said anything about that. But whether or not it was contract, it's still a marriage at the end of the day. So Gladys is saying, I don't know what to do. I'm contemplating divorce, but I need your advice because I don't want to be a second wife. Do you think this is reason enough for a divorce? And if not, what do you think she should do? So please don't call in and say, oh, divorce is not an option and let your marriage stay the way it is. Focus on your marriage. You need to give solution. I would appreciate it if you call with solutions. 07000 917 917 is the number to call. 0703 175 6567 6537 is for WhatsApp messages and text messages. Once again, 07000 917 917 for calls. 0703 175 6537 for text and WhatsApp messages. Hello, good evening.
Hello, tell me back on the line.
All right, Oluwafemi, what are your thoughts?
Whether she likes it or not, already she's a second wife.
Yeah, harsh reality.
Already she's a second wife. So she has joined the league of second wife. But the theory that you say, so you go white now, you go white, Nigeria white now, Nigeria white. Hello?
I'm with you, I'm listening.
So it has happened, it has happened. Let us just focus on our marriage here in Nigeria. So that one, you go now, will not come and take over for mine. So divorce is not just the solution. Divorce is not the solution. That is that. And then, you go white, also you go their own contract. You can marry in a abroad country. Somebody can marry like can marry like 4 or 5 times in 1 year. In fact, it's even a business there. It's business. I was hearing of the story of one man that got married 88 times. 50-something years, and he has married 80-something women. And sometimes he married one person 2 times. In fact, most of those people, you have to marry one or some of them 2 times. You can imagine that. So, you go like to different from our life here.
Yes, I understand you, Oluwafemi. But again, this is what Olu from Obawale was trying to say. It's not as simple as that. And this is why I'll put the whole information in one line, in a quick summary for you. Abroad in the United States, because this woman was married first, because this white woman was the first wife, that's why it's a problem. If she was a second wife, maybe you can walk around it, maybe. But he was married to her first. That means, according to United States law, he has committed a crime by marrying another wife. That's the simple meaning. Yes, in their country. Yes, but listen. If this woman decides to sue him for this crime, this marriage with Gladys will not matter, because this marriage will be nullified. Because according to the law, he has not divorced her, so he cannot remarry. And if this marriage by law, I'm not arguing with that. But if the marriage abroad, in abroad does not matter, then automatically there's a challenge somewhere. So you cannot say I'm not married abroad, but I'm married in Nigeria. It doesn't make sense. Even the woman will be wondering what's really going on. So that's what, and you're forgetting that there's a child involved as well. The woman abroad has a child. She has a son that's 4 years old. So what's the solution? You cannot just say face your marriage. What's the solution here? Are you saying divorce the woman abroad and take care of your child, or bring your child to Nigeria? What are you? Because you are forgetting about the child.
No, listen, the child is not the issue. The child is not the issue. Yeah, the child is not the issue. The issue is about the woman that is in a marriage. Now she's a second wife, so she doesn't have to divorce. What is she divorcing? If she divorces, she don't marry another person. The person won't marry, whether I don't get like us left for some year. Okay, let her just focus on my marriage. Let her keep saying, one day God will not expect to achieve.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm not on board with that particular kind of advice. I hear you. But you can't just say keep praying one day. Oluwafemi, you want to just keep the woman hanging like that. It's not a good thing now. It's not a good thing. How about now? But he makes a point by talking about the fact that abroad, the Oyibo woman is married. In Nigeria, that Oyibo woman is not married because she's not married by Nigerian law. Now, in Nigeria, it's only Gladys that this man is married to. It's over there that he is married to somebody else. But what is the fine line in between, and how do we address this? Hello, good evening.
Hello. Good evening to you, Bola from Sorogari. Yeah, listen to your story now.
Okay.
I think the first question to look at is...
Okay, first, before you go on, Oyebola, you've called before, so I'm going to let you speak, but please make it really short so we can get other people's opinions, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Now, does she happy? Is she enjoying her marriage with a man?
Yes.
If she is, she should look for what makes her happy. If she can manage, because it's a lot of forgiveness now. Yes. The man supposed to open up for her before they go into that marriage. However, it has happened, and it's not in line what has happened. So if the man will take up his responsibility fully, ensuring that he keeps resources for her and the child, so that if there's any critical case abroad, they will not take away everything away from the man. So be it. If they can manage it, because as far as they are concerned, you mentioned it, the lady, the other woman married the man in abroad. So she married here, she's the official wife here in Nigeria. So something that needs to be opposed now is trust. They should have told the man and believe that maybe this is just the death are not the only secret that is taking away from her. She can decide to continue. But if she will not find peace in our relationship, she should just be more and look for happiness elsewhere. That is all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so I found the message. I found the message initially sent in when she said the son, her son, the initial wife, the one of 6 years, her son is 4 years old, and she's asking for the man to be a father to her child, and she's asking for financial compensation. So I'm not sure what father to her child means. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name, please?
This is Tonia calling from Ogijo.
Hello, Tonia. Thank you for calling. All right, very quickly, what do you think tonight about the story?
Yeah, first of all, let me just say, I blame that man small. Number one, before you go into marriage, at least the person you're getting married to is someone you should trust. No matter how hard it is, you let this person understand, okay, this is what happened. And I don't even know how long they've been dating before he got married to the one outside the country. That's another thing.
That's another thing.
And I just feel he's wrong, and he might be doing that to get whatever he wants again. Maybe when things were not easy for him. You don't need to blame him much, but you need to just blame him again for not telling you. And you live under one roof, and you have been doing a lot of things, and it's someone that you love. At least it should not be something. You don't need to take it very hard to express, no matter how hard it is. And when you feel you speak that truth, even when someone is dumb to these things, when you sit down and think about it, you'll be impressed that even when the thing is hard, this person still say this thing out. At least she could have even think about it. But someone else now called. Let's be frank. If I'm in our shoes, I'll take space for a while. Because I feel if you can hide such a thing, you can hide something more than that. And I wish he told her herself, instead of hearing it from the wife outside the country, could have been better.
Yes.
I just feel she needs to calm down,
Okay.
things out, and if she feel going, if she feel the other has to go back to outside the country, you should stay there. Okay, take care of the needs for me and my children. When you sort things out, because if that woman outside the country sued the husband, 1 year like this, they'll bring it to Nigeria without even bringing anything down. And you don't know how it's going to affect him. You don't need to even get angry. You just pray and make sure you settle it and get people that will counsel you in the right way. That's just it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So many different points of view, but that's what Adult Conversations is about. Thank you very much for still contributing, and I'm still open to hearing your thoughts. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening. Am I speaking with Young?
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you, Young. Thank you for calling. All right.
How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. How about yours?
Great.
Ah.
I have my Emma something here to do on the floor. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm happy for that. All right, go ahead.
I will advise Gladys to calm down. Get in touch with the foreign woman again.
Okay.
Get the details of the marriage from her. Get the full details of the marriage from her. Is it actually a contract marriage as the husband said? Is it?
No. Let me correct that, please. He didn't say that it's a contract marriage. He just agreed that he was married to her. He didn't deny that he was married to her, but he didn't tell her whether it was a contract marriage or not. He has just been begging her to forgive him since they've not,
I've been listening to about 50 about when I tuned in.
Okay.
And I've been trying to get the details of you provide it again now.
Okay.
Now, that's why I've been listening to people that are saying contract marriage, this and that. Now that I want to put the line of the other man that was coming from religious perspective.
Okay.
Now, if it's obvious that this marriage is not a contract marriage, so why are people talking about contract and the other things? It means that there's no marriage here.
Because when we talk about American law or Nigerian law, religious law is religious law. We are looking at God's law. We are looking at God's law. If as much as this, religious involved, the religious aspect involved in this Nigerian marriage, I don't know about that of America.
Of course.
So, since the religion is involved in this one, there is no marriage here with Gladys. Gladys should get that. There is no marriage.
Because he was initially married, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think it's established, if it's established here that the marriage was a contract for him to get his papers right, that's a different case. In as much as he paid and said, yes, I was married and I don't love her anymore, there is no marriage here in Nigeria. He is married and he's married in America, and that's the only wife he has. So this one is a fraudulent marriage he performed here. He treated this woman. So there is no marriage. Legally and religiously, there is no marriage. That's the truth. That's just the truth. So Gladys should just get her ass cool, think of what to do, think of the way forward. Just think of it. Like the last man said, consult your priest. I don't know the denomination you belong to. And I know that most Orthodox and Pentecostals, some renowned Pentecostals now, are saying the line of nullifying any marriage that has any atom of falsehood in it. Any atom of falsehood from some of the Pentecostal churches now are nullifying it without looking back.
All right.
Because they are expected to be honest.
100%. Okay, so Young, we don't have that much time. So what's your advice?
My advice is that she has to sit down, consult her priest or her religious leader, and ask for counseling. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is no marriage here.
All right.
There is no marriage. She's
Thank
not
you.
yet married. The man deceived her into marriage while he was married before.
All right.
So as she said, she doesn't want to get a second wife. She has the right to walk out of it. No law is holding her.
Okay.
God himself knows that her walking away is genuine.
All right. Thank you so much, Young. Thank you for that one. Another school of thought right there. There are so many contexts to this particular story. So many. And I'm still taking your thoughts. What do you think about this one? And is there any way that it can be fixed? Is there any way that it can be fixed? Because I believe Gladys is asking for advice in order to seek a solution. What are your thoughts tonight?
You're listening to the voice of women. It's not just talk, but it will take you to say everything and you play them better.
Mr. Johnson, I'm here for my money.
Baba landlord, I'm very sorry. My wife is very sick and I have spent all the money I have.
I've been telling you to ensure the health of you and your family with a reliable HMO.
Reliable HMO? Which of them can I go for?
Ice Lady Care HMO Limited. They are one of the accredited health maintenance organizations with thousands of quality and accredited healthcare providers nationwide on their network. They have corporate plan, retail plan, student plan, and even community-based health plan. Also, their premium is pocket friendly.
Please, where are they located?
Their office is located at number 2 Osho Street, Okpebi Link Bridge, off Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Their phone number is 080-93 555 863 or 080-3263-9058. Their website is www.iceladicare.com. Ice Lady Care, health protection in your colors.
Are you searching for durable, guaranteed, elegant, affordable home products? At Eleganza Industrial City Limited, we put you first. From plastic chairs for adults and babies, party tables and school tables, disposable plates and cups, as well as reusable plastics, food warmers and cooling boxes, trash bins of various sizes, baby diapers, lady sanitary care products, luggage of various sizes, hair threads, and lots more. Eleganza Industrial City Limited has got you covered with our elegantly designed products in unique shapes and sizes. Visit us at Kilometer 68 Lekki Epe Expressway after Eleko Junction, Ibeju Lekki, Lagos. Or you can call 081-801-99999 or 090-914-73
665, or you can send us an email at eleganzaindustrialcity@yahoo.com or info@eleganzagroups.com or sales@eleganzagroups.com. You can visit our website www.eleganzagroups.com. Eleganza Industrial City Limited. The name is our guarantee.
Hi sis, hope you didn't forget the 2K you promised me.
I haven't forgotten, In fact, if you want it now, join me in unwrapping these Knorr cubes. Knorr is giving us instant 5K. You just have to find the code and send it to 8011.
If I finish unwrapping the Knorr cubes, will you make it 5K?
Just unwrap first, now let's see.
Win instant 5K cash in the Knorr Unwrap and Win promo. Buy the Knorr 360 gram or 160 gram promo pack. Look for a cube wrapper with an Nigerian 6-digit code. Text code to 8011 and follow the prompts to win 5,000 Naira cash or 1,000 Naira airtime instantly. Promo runs from now till November. Terms and conditions apply. Knorr, eat for good.
My people are hello. Na better level can carry one on a romantic closer. Long festival of God promo. From the hello closer, Lord. Like socks from you. They don't let president yet. And not give up a win. 20 brand new house. 24 you cars. 100 generator. 200 slave machine. 1,000 returnable fan. And 1,000 other price and days. Just time start 611# to enter and win inside the Club Festival of God promo. Buy up to 20,000 Naira data. Your lucky shine to win brand new house. If you cost to recharge or loan data when cost from 700 Naira, go reach 10,000 Naira every month, week, or every day. New or Taraka plus other fabulous price and feel ready your hand. Make your dial star 611# now to enter and win. Terms and conditions.
My children are surprises. Adane buys my favorite 3 crowns milk regularly. And as for Chinedu, that one makes it rain with monthly upkeep. They really plan to take me to Dubai someday soon, so I can visit Burj Khalifa and other fine places.
Be your mom a trip to Dubai. Buy 3 Crowns Milk products worth 2,000 Naira. Write a note to say thank you to your mom. Post it on www.3crowns.com.ng and she could be one of the lucky winners to Dubai. Terms and conditions apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
2023 general election don't come more. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our votes. Make we join hands together and vote for better candidates. Candidates wey no dey use women play. Candidates wey carry woman matter for head. Women make una get una permanent voters card, PVC. Make we vote better.
My Voice for Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio 91.7 bring una this message.
Radio Doctor on WFM 91.7 every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. brings you medical experts specialized in women's health.
If you're a 23 cycle person, just come forward on your day 14, you would ovulate.
Call in to get free consultation on women's health on 07000 917 917 and 090 256 25455. You can send in questions, cases, and related contributions on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WFM917. Text and WhatsApp to 070 317 56537. You can listen live online on www.wfm917.com. Radio Doctor, Nigeria's first free consultation radio health program on WFM 91.7.
Give the left or right, son.
You think you know Nigeria's biggest tunes? Get in the ring on the Big Tune Show every weekday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WFM 91.2.
world is threatened by terrorism, wars, killings, and various vices. Its effects are mostly felt by women and girls. Peace and security is a collective responsibility as it concerns women, girls, and boys. Join WANET on Women's Voices for Peace every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7 as we engage on issues of women, peace, and security. On Women's Voices for Peace on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
We are Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families.
16 minutes to 8 on Women Radio 91.7, and we're still profiling the story of Gladys tonight. So if you're just tuning in, you're welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you have been tuned in, thank you very much for staying tuned. What are your thoughts concerning the story tonight? Gladys is saying that her husband of 2 years, she found out that he's been married to a white woman for 6 years and also has a child, a 4-year-old son with this woman. She's been married for 2 years. She also has a child, and now she's saying she doesn't know what to do. She's contemplating a divorce. What do you think? Hello, good evening.
Yes, hello. I want to respond to the last caller that said.
May I know your name?
Anonymous, please.
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Nicole.
All right, please go on.
The man has said the woman in Nigeria doesn't have marriage. There's no marriage for her. I disagree with that.
Okay.
Yes. Now she don't go get married as far as the matter is concerned. Because now she will know the two families from the husband and the wife came together. Who go to their traditional wedding here? Not because they go to the wedding here.
All right. I'm with you. So let me just address that so that nobody else, we don't get to have this conversation again. You may not agree with that point of view, and that's okay. But the thing that matters most here is that both marriages are valid. That's the truth of the matter. Both marriages are valid. Her marriage, Gladys' marriage, is valid in Nigeria. His marriage, the other woman's marriage, is valid in America. It's as simple as that. So that's it. All right. Thank you so much. I'm glad we addressed this. I'm glad we've come to a consensus. All right. So I'm going to take some messages off of the Facebook family for adult conversations. All right. Chris Aenobong is saying trust. Once trust is broken, it's hard to regain. He should have told you about this before. Talk to God about it. Ogbonna Joy said, Mensha, it is well. Augustine says, I know you don't want to be a second wife, but you are already. All right. That's basically all. The other people are just saying, oh, it is well, it is well. We are so Nigerian with that phrase, it is well, it is well. And I agree, it is well at the end of the day, but right now, things are not well. And we need to be on board with that reality so that we can give good advice. Hello, good evening. Good evening. What's your name, please? All right. Okay. Hello, good evening. Okay.
Secret is marriage. There is no way you can keep secret that is not going to secret. So why don't we just understand that part that when you marry, we must discuss everything that will cause issue in the future. You see, and for me, today I don't think the Nigerian woman does not marry. In fact, she's happily married.
Okay.
Because even if most of our parents decided to have just one way. And it's not every man that will be married to just one woman.
That's open to context, but go on. I know you're getting somewhere. I know you're getting
It's not
somewhere.
every man that will marry just one wife. It's not every man. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, she needs to talk to the man. Okay, fine. You have a wife abroad. Now I have gotten to know. Now what is your plan? Have you divorced her? Are you planning to divorce her? So that we can know the direction we are going.
Mm-hmm.
Or we want to keep the two of us. So that by that, through the answer,
Mm-hmm.
she will now be able to decide on what to do. Whether to wait or to divorce him.
Okay. Yes.
In Nigerian marriage,
Mm-hmm.
is it professional marriage or a court marriage?
They did everything. They did everything.
They did court in Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so definitely she's traditionally and legally married to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, which means she's original wife. So, she shouldn't allow this thing to pressure her out of the house.
All right.
It has happened. The next thing is to have a good communication. Not to talk to him.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
All right.
Are you planning to divorce her or have you divorced her already?
Okay.
Will you be taking care of the child? Just an informed conversation.
All right. Thank you so much, Ope. Thank you. Opa is 100% right. That informed communication needs to be had. They need to have that conversation and discuss what the modalities of this are. Now, remember, I said the other lady, the white lady, needs to be on board with the divorce as well. So if that's happening, they're going to need to have to start talking to her on time so that she can be on board with the divorce and they can move on. Hello, good evening. Mr. Darlington, how are you tonight?
I am okay, and you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
How about my senior girlfriend?
She Kuku has called today. She has asked after you already.
All right.
Yes.
Who got married before? Is it the one in Nigeria or the one abroad?
The one abroad.
The one abroad got married before?
Yes. And she has a 4-year-old son.
And it was done in court?
Yes.
Until that marriage is dissolved, is the rightful wife. The marriage act does not support that you do court wedding. Why? It does not. The first person that you married in court or in any formalized marriage is the one that both tradition and court recognize you. Any other one is a girlfriend. And that is authoritative.
So what do we now do about it now? What do we do about that reality now?
Ignorance is an excuse in law.
Yes. Oh, that's true. That's very true.
So if they are accidents of ignorance, then they should live with their ignorance. There's no two ways about it.
Okay.
No law will support such a thing. It's not recognized.
Okay.
Is the person. So until the one abroad is dissolved, he remains the legal wife.
Okay, so that's what they should be working on now, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So the one in Nigeria, whether they love her or they don't love her, she should remember or recognize her status in that marriage.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington.
Let her do the right. Let her do the right advice and do the needful. Instead of hoping on hope. Because she doesn't have any inheritance in that marriage.
Thank you so much. See, all these different perspectives, the spiritual perspective, the fact that it's recognized by law, all of these different perspectives, as important as they are, this information, as I said before, will still have to be filtered by Gladys, and she will decide what to do. Hello, good evening.
going to give it?
Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziggy from Texas.
Hi, Ziggy. Thank you for calling. All right, Ziggy, we don't have much time. We have about 2 minutes to wrap up.
You don't have much time, but I want to ask.
Yes.
In question. Where is he based in? Is he based in Nigeria or is he based in US?
He's in Nigeria. He's based in Nigeria.
There is no need Gladys contemplating divorce now. As far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
The marriage belongs to her. Okay.
Okay.
I know that the guy will, by the end, he have a reason why he married the first wife. He was seeking for green card. But he have already gotten the green card here in Nigeria. So, I don't think he's still need the green card anymore. So, with time, he will divorce the American wife. They married that one with reason. For this one, he married this one with love. I mean, the Nigerian one.
Yes.
So, she has no reason of contemplating divorce. Okay? The marriage, everything will sort itself out with time. And the American one, yes, you already have a son. The son is there, but I believe with time, that one will find his way.
All right. So, thank you so much, Ziggy. All right. We've had a very productive conversation today, and I'm very grateful for all your comments. I'm going to read this one from Yahaya from Igbeda, who says, the good thing is that you're together with your husband here. And even the woman that has contacted you is not in the country. So why would you leave your marriage because of that? Unless you don't trust your husband enough to believe in his words. But please stay in your marriage if you love your man. And remember that your child is also involved. Yes, her child is important. But another child who is important is the 4-year-old son abroad. So they're both important. But above all, the most important thing here is the way forward. It's the way forward. If the wife abroad does not want to pursue any charges, does not want to charge him or sue him for bigamy because it's not allowed in their country, then that's fine. But if she decides to go with that and she's asking for a huge percentage or a huge amount of money that he can't give, then there's another challenge with that. So there always has to be some kind of movement in terms of agreement, rather. That's more the word. So they need to decide on what to do. Is it going to be a present father in that guy's in the boy's life somehow? Are they going to have to come to some kind of agreement? Or is it going to be just paying child support just to support the child so that he can focus on his family here after successfully divorcing the one abroad? But whatever the case is, Gladys is saying she's contemplating divorce, and a lot of people have said that's a bad idea. But whatever the case is, the choice is Gladys to make. At this point, I say thank you so much for contributing tonight on Adult Conversations. We have had a very large conversation tonight. I wasn't expecting this, but thank you so much for that. And I'm sure that Gladys will be able to take an informed decision from all the advice given tonight. On behalf of Gladys, I say thank you again, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m., same time, WFM 917, same station, and of course, same program, Adult Conversations. Thank you very much to my engineers and DT. My name is Sumto Titilayo Achama. Good evening.